Beis Amud Beis. I will begin Chav Beis Amud Aleph, 12 lines from the bottom. Rabbi Yanai, it's towards the end of the line. Continue on with the halachas of a balkari, the Isser to the entire before Tefillah. Rabbi Yanai, Shemati Shemekilim Bo, V'Shemati Shemachmirim Bo. I heard some who are mekel in this matter, and some who are machmir. V'chol ha'machmir bo al atzmo marich le'yom l'shneisa. Anyone who is machmir on himself, he will have arichas yomim. What is the point? What is the purpose of this tefillah in the morning? What do you mean? The Amri Balkari also b'divrei Torah. He himself said a Balkari is also b'divrei Torah. So what does he mean? Why it's a point? What's the point of this tefillah? So why does it have to be done at tefillah with a mikveh of a boim so? It's sufficient to have poured on himself Tisha Kabin. You don't need to be Toivel Dafka in a mikveh or boim so mativ metfilah after benasina. And why does it have to be Toivel? It can be poured on you. Amar Rabbi Chanina Geder Godel Godel. He said the point is there is a point for tefillah dafka tefillah. It's a getter, it's a fence, it keeps a person away from avera. There was a ma'aseh be'echad that he wanted to be mazana with a woman. Amra loy, she said to him, Reika, empty one. Yeshelcha arbaim sa shata tevel ben. If you're going to have you're going to have a ma'aseh bia, you're going to have to be tevel in a mikveh miyad pirish. And that caused him to be mahar b'tshuva, and he separated. He did not engage in it. Amul Rav Huna Rabbanan. He said, Rav Huna to Rabbanan, Rabbaisam itneimat hemezalzam l'tfilah. Why are you not so diligent with this tefillah to be toivel imishum tzina? If it's because it's very cold, efshei b'machatzois. You can be toivel in a bathhouse. Amar le Rav Chisda v'chiyesh tefillah b'chamen. How can you be toivel in a bathhouse? Bathhouse is maim shuvim. They heated the water by pouring water over the fire. It's maim shuvim. And a mikveh cannot be with drawn water. It has to be water that naturally flows into the mikveh. You can't be toivel in a bathhouse. He holds like you in this matter. So this is a matter of dispute, as we will see further in the Gemara. Rabbi Zera Havi Yosef Agna Demaya, he was sitting in a tub of water, Beimasus in the bathhouse. He told his attendant to take 9 kamen of water, and pour it on me. Why do you have to have this water poured on you? You're sitting in this tub, it has at least 9 kamen of water already, so why do you now, sitting in the tub, need water being poured on you? No, it has to be specific. Karboim so. Just like the tefillah of our boim so is specific, this has to be specific as well. Ma arboim so b'tevila v'lo b'nesina, just like when it's toivel in a mikveh. You can't have the 40 so poured on him. He has to immerse himself. He has to be toivel in the mikveh. Tisha Kabin is also specific. B'nesina v'lo b'tevila. Here it has to be done by pouring and not by sitting. Yes, he's sitting in a tub of nine kamen, but that's not tefillah. It's not tefillah of our boim so. And Tisha Kamen has to be poured. Sitting in the tub is not sufficient. Rav Nachman tikkun chatzva bas Tisha Kamen. So he made a vessel which was pre-measured that would hold the quantity of 9 kamen, so that the Talmidim would be able to easily be able to have the sufficient amount of water. They wouldn't have to measure it and try to estimate it. It was pre-measured for 9 kamen, and therefore they would fill that up and have the 9 kamen that they would need for the nesina of this water. He also Rabbi Akiva, Rabbi Huda, Lusra, they said, no, this is not a good eitzah. It's not a good takana, because even though they permitted 9 kamen water, but that's only l'chayla, a sick person who became tomei by accident, not willfully. But even if he's a choila and he became tomei through a ma'aseh bia, arbaim so, he needs arbaim so. The Tisha Kabin is not going to be sufficient. So this measuring vessel really doesn't serve that much of a purpose. Amar Rav Yosef, Itver Hofstedter Rav Nachman. His vessel is broken, meaning it doesn't have that much of a practical application because it's only usable in a very limited case. It's as if the vessel was broken. However, he also Rabban Amar Usha Hava Uvda. There was Usha and Maisa Bekila in the anteroom. The Rav Aisha also Vishal Rav Asi, and they asked Rav Amar Lahu. He said no. Lo Yishana Lachayla Hamarget. It's only for the Chayla Hamarget. That Tisha Kabin is for a Chayla, even if it's a Maisa Bia that caused him to be Tomei. That's where the Tisha Kabin, that's where they were masakin the Tisha Kabin. If it's Hamargil, through willfully he became Tomei through Maisa Bia. But if it's a Chayla Lainsa, Potter Miklum, he doesn't need it at all. He doesn't need any Tefillah or Nesina. So therefore the application for this vessel is very practical. Rav Yosef, it's Tamid Hofstedter Rav Nachman. It's as if it was now repaired. Now it has usage, it has a practical use, so it's as if it's repaired because there is more of a common case where Tisha Kabin is applicable. The source of this takana that a Balkari has to be table prior to learning is a takana vesa. Now they're disputing where it is. It's a chayla margil. Tisha Kabin is a chayla margil, chayla ainsa. The next day, Ezra hechitikin. Let's just examine what was Ezra's takana. What's the source of this machlaikas here? Amar Abaya, Ezra tikin labar hamargil memso. Now he says Ezra's takana was a healthy person who became tomei through a maisabia 40 saw. And a healthy person that became Tomei not through Maisabia but through by accident Tisha Kabin. That was the original takana. Also Amaroi, later Amaroim became Upligi and they argued Bechoila. In the case of a sick person, a person is a choila. That was not clear cut in the original takana. And now their dispute is, how do we treat a choila? Mar Savra choila hamargil, that a choila who became Tomei through a Maisabia Kibari Hamargil. It's like a bori hamargil. It's like a healthy person who's ragil and you need arboim sa. V'choila la'ainsa, and a choila who became by accident tomei kibori la'ainsa. So he treats a choila like a bori, and therefore, if it's la'ainsa, it's a choila la'ainsa, it's kibori la'ainsa, and you need Tisha Kabin. Umar savra choila hamargil kibori la'ainsa. No, he says a chayla, even if it's a margil willingly through Maisabiyah, but it's only on the level, since he's a chayla, it's only as severe as a bori, healthy person, lo einsa, and Tisha Kabin is sufficient. But chayla lo einsa, potter miklum. So that is why there is this dispute. However, Amarava, no, that can't be the source of it, because Nehida Tikkun Ezra Tvila, Ezra's takana was, he was masakin Tvila for a Balkari. He never addressed Nesina, the pouring of Tisha Kabin. Nesina Miktikin, he wasn't masakin Nesina. Amar Mar, Ezra Tikkun Tvila Labalakarin. So that can't be the source of the dispute. El Amarava, Ezra Tikkun Tvila Labori Hamargel. Ezra's takana was Tvila for a healthy person that came Tomei through a Maisabiyah Memso. That was his takana. That was the extent of it. Then later on, the Rabbanan were Masakin for a bori, healthy person by accident became Tom by accident, Tisha Kabin. That was a later takana. Now, Amaroi, and later Amaroim, their dispute was by a chayla, someone is sick. It's in the same level as a bori, hamargil. And therefore he held that a chayla hamargil is a boim saw, and a chayla la'insa is Tisha Kabin. Mar sabra labori hamargil mem saw, v'chayla hamargil kibori la'insa. So he said, Mar sabra, he says that for a bori hamargil is mem saw. Chayla hamargil is kibori la'insa Tisha Kabin. And it's only Tisha Kabin is required. So what is the halacha? Bari hamargil, a healthy person through Maisabiyah v'chayla hamargil, and a chayla through Maisabiyah is, if it comes the tumah through Maisabiyah, it doesn't matter if he's healthy or not, Arboim saw, 40 saw is required. Bori, lo einsa, and if it's a bori, lo einsa is tisha kabin, aval choyle, lo einsa, potem is potor. Ton rabon, and Baal Kerish also lo tisha kabin, mayim, tor. And Balakari, where they poured on him 9 kabin, he's torba med vorm la'atzma. That's only as far as his own learning is concerned. For him to learn for himself, that's motor balachim. To teach to others, arboim saw 40 saw is required. Rabbi Yehuda Omer mem saw mikol mok. Rabbi Yehuda says mem saw. Now he's not addressing that previous statement. This is an independent statement. Rabbi Yehuda says 40 saw, any which way it is. There's a kula, even though 40 saw is required, but we are lenient in the 40 saw. We'll see shortly in the Gemara what he means to say. Rabbi Yochanan, Dirshu ben Levi, Rabbi Yosef Brachanina, Chad Mehai Zuga, Chad Mehai Zuga. So there's 2 pairs, Rabbi Yochanan and Dirshu ben Levi. That's 1 pair. And Rabbi Yosef Brachanina, Chad Mehai Zuga, 1 from the first pair, Chad Mehai Zuga, and 1 from the second pair. So Aresha, they had a dispute on the first statement of the Brisa. That we said in the opening statement, that Tisha Kabin is sufficient if it's only for his own learning, but for others 40 saw is required to teach them. That's only for a choila who became Talmud through Maisabiyah. If it's a choila insa, Tisha Kabin. Tisha Kabin is sufficient even for others. And the other one said, no, if he's teaching others, even if it's a choila, he still needs 40 saw, atila 40 saw. V'chad mahayzug in one of the first pair, v'chad mahayzug in the second pair, are safe. They had a dispute on the seifa, on the end part of the brisa, on Rabbi Yehuda's statement. Chad Amar Had Amar Rabbi Yehuda Mem Saw Mikol Mokum, that the Rabbi Yehuda said 40 saw any which way it is, Lo Yishon Al B'Karka. That's only if the water is in the karka, it's in the ground. It's like in a bore on the ground. Aval B'Kalim, if it's in a vessel, meaning it's Maim Shu'uvim, Loi, it's not a kosher mikveh, and therefore even the Baal Keri cannot be toivel in that type of water. It needs to be in the ground, like a regular mikveh. And the other one says, no, even though by regular tefillah for a tuma deraisa, the water in a vessel, in a movable keli, is not considered, it's not kosher for tefillah, but over here, it is. For a Baal Keri, it is. So now, if you say that he says the water is permitted even in a keli, so we understand that Rabbi Yehuda's kula, he's saying mikol makam, that for this purpose, the water, the form 40 saw is any type of 40 saw, meaning even though for a regular mikveh it would not be kosher in a vessel, here it is. So we understand the statement. But according to the one says no, that the water, even for the Baal Keri, the water has to be in the ground, not on a vessel, not in a vessel. So what is the kula? What is it coming to include? More answers, his mater permits maim shum, drawn water, so long as it's in the ground. But if it's in a keli, it's not permitted. So there is a kula over here. A kosher mikveh for a tumah deraisa, you need to have maim shuv misposel. It has to be naturally flowing water. Over here, we permit maim shuvim, but it has to be, according to this Mandomer, in the ground and not a vessel. Rav Papa, Rav Huna, Rav Yeshua, Rav Bar Shmuel, Kricha Ritz B'Harei Adari. So they ate a meal together. Amalei Rav Papa, let me be the one to bench for everyone. Because even though he was a Baal Keri, but he had 9 kavim poured on him, so now he could be considered tohar to be mitzi the bracha for the others. Amalei Rav Bar Shmuel, no, Tanina b'med vorma mela'atzma. Tisha Kavin is only sufficient for his own learning. Aval acher mem saw, but for others you need 40 saw. So you're not qualified to be mitzi us with the bracha. Ela havalila didi give it to me. The nafel laver boim saw, give it to me because I had 40 saw poured on me. Amalei Rav Huna, havalila didi livra the leka lavai loy hai v'loy hai. He said, give it to me because I wasn't tamei at all. So So you're saying you should give it to you because you were toivel. Rashi points out, even though the lashon over here is the nafal alai, which means literally to pour on him, but he meant to say that he was toivel in 40 saw. But he said to Rav Huna said, give it to me because I wasn't told me to begin with, so let me be mitzi. Rav Chama Tavel Mali Yomi the Pischa, he was told on Erev Pesach Loitzi Ram Yidei Chayvasa to be mitzi others for their chayva. It's not so clear what the chayva is. The Ritva says that the mitzi them with a bracha, the birchas hahala. But al kolponim, he was told to be mitzi, but v'les hilchas of kavase, that's not halacha, that it is not required. The tefillah is not required.